The sun had just begun its descent over the bustling city of Lagos, casting a golden hue over the chaotic symphony of honking cars, roaring buses, and impatient pedestrians. On Adekunle Expressway, where life rarely paused for anything, a black BMW glided to a slow stop near the edge of the sidewalk. The door opened and a woman stepped out. Her name was Tariola Adeniran, a successful fashion entrepreneur known across social media for her bold designs and even bolder personality. Today, she wore her newest design, a radiant yellow Ankara jumpsuit that clung to her like a second skin, printed with pineapple motifs that symbolized resilience and sweetness. As she waited for her driver to adjust something at the back of the car, Tariola's eyes wandered, and there, a few meters ahead, she saw him. A man, dark-skinned and weathered by life, sat slumped against a cracked cement slab. His hair was matted. His shirt hung in tatters. He clutched a nearly empty bottle of water and looked at passers-by with hollow eyes that no longer hoped. Something tugged at Tariola's heart. She walked toward him. He didn't notice her at first, until she knelt beside him and stretched out, her hand offering a $1 note. "Take this," she said softly, her voice like silk in a city of stone. "Buy food. Or maybe a new shirt." The man stared at the note, then at her, stunned. His lips trembled. He didn't move. "Go on," she urged. "It's okay." His eyes welled with tears. "My name is Kwabena," he said, voice broken like gravel underfoot. That was the moment everything changed. Kwabena was not always a man of the street. 10 years ago, he was engineer Kwabena Ofosu, a Ghanaian structural genius who had been recruited by a Nigerian construction firm to design high-end urban bridges. He was rising fast, until a scandal rocked the company and someone framed him for embezzlement. Documents were forged, emails were tampered with. By the time he knew what hit him, he had lost his job, his savings, and his passport. The system swallowed him whole. He went from conference rooms to sleeping under bridges. But even as his body starved, his mind never stopped working. He carried in his head the blueprint of a bridge that could ease Lagos traffic by 40%, an idea he had drawn on a napkin in a roadside suya spot, now tattooed in his memory. And now a woman had noticed him, not with pity, but with dignity. That night, Kwabena sat in an abandoned taxi lot, $1 bill clenched tightly in his palm, and cried for the first time in 7 years. Not out of sadness, but because hope had remembered his name. He made a decision. Tomorrow he would find her again. Tariola thought of him all night. Something about his eyes haunted her. The way they mirrored pain but also recognition, like he once belonged to a world that betrayed him. The next morning, while preparing for her fashion show themed African Royalty Reborn, she instructed her assistant, "Get me that man's name. Kwabena. I want to know his story." Her assistant, skeptical but loyal, contacted a journalist, friend. Within hours, they uncovered part of his history. Former engineer, once accused of corruption but never charged, disappeared shortly after. Tariola was stunned. Her show was set for that weekend at the Landmark Center. That night, as guests arrived, whispers filled the air. Influencers, senators' wives, and business moguls filled the front row. But all eyes were on the final reveal. As the final spotlight hit the runway, a tall, regal figure emerged. Not a model. It was Kwabena, dressed in a sleek, modernized agbada made from recycled industrial fabric. His scars were visible, his dignity unmistakable. The audience fell silent. Tariola walked out beside him. "This man," she announced, "once designed solutions for Africa. We let the system crush him, but tonight we rebuild him." And the crowd erupted. Offers began to pour in. Engineers, philanthropists, and government representatives asked for meetings. Tariola became Kwabena's unofficial manager, and together they pitched his dream: the People's Bridge, an architectural masterpiece to connect Lagos Island to the mainland with eco-friendly efficiency. A crowdfunding campaign launched, pulling donations not just from Nigeria, but across Africa. Artists sketched his designs. Children wrote letters. But not everyone was happy. The same men who had orchestrated his downfall a decade ago began stirring rumors, leaking old articles, questioning his sanity. Tariola stood firm. "Let them talk," she told him. "We rise, louder than their noise." And they did. The government approved the prototype site for construction, and for the first time in his life, Kwabena signed a contract in his name, not as a ghost, but as a builder of futures. On the day the bridge was completed, thousands gathered, banners flew, drums beat. The governor was late, but no one cared. Kwabena stood on the edge of the platform, Tariola beside him in another radiant Ankara creation, and stared at the river that once separated him from his dreams. He held the same dollar she had once given him, now framed in gold. "To every hand that lifted me from the dust," he said into the microphone, "this bridge belongs to you. Let every step across it be proof that a single act of kindness can re-engineer a life." People cried, children sang, a drone rose into the air, filming the city from above, and from that height, the bridge looked like an open palm, stretching from past to future. Tariola squeezed his hand, and Kwabena whispered, "I never needed millions. I just needed someone to see me."